Oh, looks like we're back though. All right.
All right, we are back with game number two of this best of two. This is very interesting between Hit It and Crit It and 5 inches collectively. Last match, Hit It and Crit It basically won a 4v5 against the other team as they did pretty well. They had a Meepo, and that was about it. So they won game one of this best of two. We're only playing one more here, and we may as well introduce ourselves. I am Pythian, and I'm here with my good friend Best Teammaker, who is doing a little bit better at commentating than he thought he would.
Hey, I'm still bad at Dota 2, so I still have that going for me.
I mean, that's implying that any casters are good at Dota 2.
Oh. So no, I'm looking for the Meepo ban right now from 5 inches.
Just waiting for it. They're taking a couple seconds to decide. It is going to be the Invoker ban, so that's also something that you want to keep away from this mid for for Hit It and Crit It. I mean, last match, this Meepo. I mean, I could imagine that the Invoker would have the same kind of impact early that you just want to get out.
I mean, Invoker, you just want to get rid of it anyways, considering how strong he is.
Also, part of the problem for 5 inches were that they didn't have anything to deal with that Meepo. Like they just could not take him down. We talked about that. They
Do they
had
even
no
have
answer.
initiation? Like they don't have. They didn't really have reliable stuns on their side.
They had a swap, which is an okay initiation, but it wasn't great.
So we
Undying,
see.
very defensive. Gyrocopter, he can use the call down to do a lot. Bounty Hunter can sort of set up vision, which he did a couple of times.
They just didn't have anything to shut down the Meepo. They got a few kills like early on in the game, but then he just snowballed hard.
Snowball fight.
Like, I was wondering if the bounty hunter probably should have. I mean, he was very focused on the offlane area. I mean, he did get a very nice kill in the bottom lane, but he didn't really touch mid lane too much at all.
Wow, a Shadow Fiend ban. I think
What?
5 inches have really decided that they want to focus their bans around the mid lane. They want to try to limit the heroes that,
Virus.
yeah, that he can play.
Is Shadow Fiend back in the meta? I wasn't aware of this.
We've seen it in a couple of matches in this league. Generally, with the changes to the Aghanim Scepter, most people what they're doing is they're just going Yules into Ags or something around that, so that they Yule Scepter a person, they get hit with one wave of the souls, and then they get hit with the back.
Yeah, I could see that then.
So in this match, we are going to see what 5 inches decide to go for this time. The Dazzle this time is on Hit It and Crit It. If I
Yeah,
were
it was
doing
on.
stats, I would
It's
know.
still hitting credit. Yeah, they had
Oh yeah,
Dazzle
they
last
had
game too.
they had the last time. Yeah,
We got the axe.
yeah. So that basically nullifies the Dazzle. So that's a pretty clear counter pick that 5 inches have gone for now, and that really means that they need to have, or maybe not so much as it used to be, but they still want to have a good early game presence against Hit It and Crit It. All right, so Axe is going to get picked up. There are a couple of heroes that go well with Axe, and the Dazzle. I mean, you can do a Culling Blade right through the grave, but I mean, there are a lot of things that Dazzle does to also counter the Axe. Like the Poison Touch is also pretty important against him. The Shadow Wave can hurt him in the early game quite a bit.
I'm liking this pick a lot better than last time. I think Lion. They have the Earth Spike. They have Hex. They have Finger of Death for burst. This is basically what they were missing from last game, I think.
Yeah, they were basically a lot of AoE damage, and they had very little single target. So the Lion gives that this time, and they also have the Axe to just finish off people. So once you get these heroes to their level 6 and their ultimates, I mean, Axe can smack down, Lion can get the finger out to make sure that the heroes are low. I mean, even with that Dazzle Grave, it's not going to stop this Axe from going ham.
These are the Void coming out for Hit It and Crit It. Carry Void? Is this what we're looking at?
I mean, it's a little bit too early to tell. I would think that with their second pick, they would want to go for an off lane. That is one good thing about the Void, though. You can put him in the off lane, you can put him on the safe lane, it really doesn't matter. I don't think
Uh,
Cassadrian Void is as good.
okay. I mean, he's been changed to be more of a carrier role now, right? Like a lot.
Um, I think the
Or
changes to him kind of put him more into a utility role.
really?
Yeah, especially with the time dilation. Like that skill is so good, and it's really good against a lion. Maybe in not so much in Axe, but there's just some heroes in the game that time dilation counters so hard. Things that come to mind are the Bristleback, Puck, Anti-Mage, anyone that really relies on mobility or getting a lot of those little cooldown spells off.
I see the Meepo ban. There it is.
There it is.
The Dro ban coming out from Hit It and Crit It. All right, I'm excited to see what these next couple of bands are going to be. Take their time with this one. So, I mean, you have an Axe and a Lion. What would they want to like get rid of to make sure this lineup works well for them?
Um,
Witch Doctor.
yeah, Witch Doctor. It's okay, I guess. I don't think that there's anything you really specifically ban out against these two heroes to make things easier for you. I mean, it still leaves your draft pretty open, and I don't think the pair itself is exceptionally scary any more than it already is. Like, I don't think there's anything that makes it worse.
They got rid of the Meepo, so that's something.
Yeah, they took Meepo out. They took out 3 of those big mids, the Shadow Fiend, the Invoker, the Meepo. I mean, there's still a lot for Hit It and Crit It to play. I wouldn't mind seeing a TA from them.
Another Sark ban. All right, let's see what the third pick is going to be for 5 inches.
I really don't know where they're going with this lineup. A lot of the heroes that were played in the last game are already picked up or are banned out. With the Vengeful Spirit, Dazzle's already here. Lion is actually the hero I think that's been picked up the most in the Learn Dota 2 League. Somewhere around 120 matches.
I could understand that, considering how good he is currently.
Yeah, he's good. He's also pretty easy to play. I think that was one of my first years in Dota 2. You just play Lion, throw stuns, get mana, make people frogs or fish. If you have the cosmetic.
I should try learning to play him then.
Yeah, you could play Lion. My first hero actually was Tidehunter, and I just stood in the fountain for about 5 minutes trying to figure out how to buy items. I was like,
oh boy,
what do I do?
Just like click guide, click. I don't know why I'm buying these items. Ooh, clinks. A lot more single target damage coming out from 5 inches here.
Yeah, I mean, it's not good to have too much single target damage. You want to have some kind of mix between AoE and single target. But I definitely like this trend that they got going here. I mean, of course, the Axe can do the AoE damage with the spin. A Lion has a stun. So they have a nice mix here. And their team makes a little bit more sense than it did in the last match.
Zeus coming out. Looks like that's going to be Fyrus's hero. Zeus mid.
Yeah, I think this is definitely a Zeus mid. It gives them some detection for the Klings. It'll let them know where he is. Maybe some burst for a couple of the other heroes.
So is this more of a counter pick rather than an actual, pick for the team?
I think it's just a hero that Fyrus seems comfortable on.
Okay.
Because against these 3 heroes, I don't see it doing exceptionally well, except maybe the Lion. But I mean, maybe it could be a support Zeus. I mean, there's always that possibility.
We got the Dragon Knight here coming out for 5 inches. This draft is looking pretty red right now.
The other
red
thing
team
is,
go.
Yeah, you're right. Color scheming is definitely a good way to go in Dota. Although Lion does have kind of a purple background behind him.
Just pretend we don't see that.
The Dragon Knight, if they think that Zeus is going mid, they don't really care about him. And actually, this Timbersaw pickup,
ooh,
that kind of makes me think that the lanes are going to be a little bit wonky here. Timbersaw mid would be definitely fun to see against a Dragon Knight.
How would that work?
I mean, you can
Well,
just take the strength away with the whirling death. You can levels up fast. You can do a lot of pure damage, and they're both melee heroes, so the Timbersaw won't have too much of a difficult time getting the farm in the mid lane if they send him mid. So they could do a lineup where they put Zeus mid, Faceless Void safe lane, then Timbersaw off. But I think that leaves Hit and Crit at a bit of a damage disadvantage. That's an interesting phrase, but I wouldn't really suggest going with that. So maybe they'll put Zeus into support.
10 seconds remaining.
There's a lot of things they could do with this lineup, and it's actually really difficult to read until you actually know which players like to play which hero.
Fire team back.
my question is, where is the damage going to come from on Hit It and Crit It, depending on how they, depending on how they do their laning. But I don't know. Faceless Void, Zeus. I'm not really sure. Are they known for hitting particularly hard?
10 seconds.
You mean together?
Well, like
Like
I
the
guess
combo of
individually,
Faceless Void and Zeus?
yeah.
5 seconds remaining.
Like, is that a lot of damage coming out for him? Because you have on the other team, you have the Axe, you have a Clinks, and you have a Dragon Knight going for them. And if Lion gets off any of his disables, they basically get pretty good kills. Like, do they have the damage to sort of counter this lineup, or this is just be a factor where they just don't have enough to wear down the members of 5 inches?
I think at this point it's going to be really difficult. They need. I mean, the pick right now in this game is the Timbersaw. Like, he can do so much to really mess with 5 inches. So he's really got to be on in this game, which is what makes me think that Virus is going to be on him, since he seems so integral to the lineup.
Yeah, the final 2 bans coming out. We got the Sven ban from the Radiant and the Chaos Knight ban from Hit It and Crit It.
Yeah, it's another red here. So finally, Hit It and Crit It have caught on to the strat. And
I'm wondering what support they're going to bring on for hitting for 5 inches. I mean,
well, it has to be someone red, right?
5 seconds remaining.
all right, of course.
I would think a Jakira might be a nice pick for them, because if you take a look at their heroes, Axe is fairly good at pushing in the early game. Clinks can melt towers. Dragon Knight can literally melt towers with his ultimate. They also could have another dragon on this team, the Jakiro, just to make sure that the towers go down quickly and make it so that Hit and Crit don't even have a chance to get into this match.
It's only going to depend on what the last pick for it. It's going to be a gyrocopter. There we go.
Radiant team.
Wow, this is So Zeus support then?
Yeah, support Zeus, Gyrocopter safe lane, Timbersaw mid, and then Faceless Void off.
Oh, okay. They have the Tinker now for 5 inches here to complete their lineup.
And that is very interesting. So it's a support Axe.
Support Axe?
Yeah.
Oh boy, don't stop me now. Yeah, he's going on the Axe.
Yeah, he was on the Bounty Hunter last game.
Ooh, this is going to be an interesting game for sure.
Yeah, so with that being said, let's get right into this interesting game here in the game 2 of the best of 2 between 5 inches collectively and Hit It and Crit It. They've got that nice little Nova Courier, and of course we were talking about the squad of 5 inches collectively right now. We've got a Tinker played by Dihi going to the mid lane. KTD on the Dragon Knight. He'll be in the safe lane. Don't Stop Me Now on the support Axe, heading off towards the jungle. It's going to be Lion played by Diaspora. And finally, we've got Clinks. He's going to have a time of his life, I would say, in the off lane. It's going to be played by Geek Leak.
You know when we're saying support Zeus? I don't think it's a support Zeus. Virus on the Zeus right now for Hit and Crit. On the Gyrocopter, we have Manly Scrub, ERP Princess on the Dazzle. On the Faceless Void, we have our is it D Dragon Sage? Yeah, no, Dragon Sage. Yeah, I wish I could read.
Reading
And
is the
on the
skill.
Timbersaw is Pumpkin Pie.
So
They're going for smoke right away.
they're going for a smoke. They're going for the fake out on the heroes, as Virus is going to be playing that Zeus. He's got 2 Tangos and 2 Clarities going off towards that mid lane. They might find out the Lion here. See if he can get in range to break that smoke early. They're going to go right past that Radiant Observer. They go towards the rune. They could get caught out here. It's a complete wraparound by the Dire. And
Oh,
here
this
comes the
is gonna be
gyrocopter. Rocket Barrage is there. There's going to be a stun by the line, only hitting onto the gyrocopter. And now here comes the Faceless Void. He's got the blink there, but he really doesn't do anything. Now here's the axe, and they don't want to attack him too much. Poison Touch is going to be there. See if he can get the spins in. There's going to be a Timber Saw going back around the backside. And, well, this axe is going to be very low. The Gyre right now... Pumpkin Pie doesn't really seem to be too good with those Timber Chains on the Timber Saw. It's a very low cooldown, and that's going to be the Rocket Barrage taking the first blood onto the axe. So at least they get that out of the way.
All right. First blood going to hit and crit right now. Nice way for them to start off.
That also means that this Clinks, he's basically got a full wave or two to get XP. It's really good for him.
And Clinks is freely going up in the top lane on zone right now. Fire's taking the mid.
So the Radiant get both bounty runes, and the bounty gets, or sorry, the Clinks gets a few easy levels in the off lane.
So is this support Void then? Is that what I'm looking at? Or is this support Timbersaw? I'm not really sure what this is.
I have no idea. I think the support Timber Saw just to do a lot of damage and use for the utility.
Huh. Okay.
I'm so confused actually.
I'm just looking at this lineup like, okay. I mean, top and mid lane I could understand, but this bottom lane I'm a little confused by. Like, what advantage does this have?
Well, it means that if they try to go onto the Void, it's going to be very difficult for them, and the Void will get less levels now. It's really weird. Because Timbersaw also wants the levels early into the reactive armor. I've seen a couple of clips recently of the Timbersaw just healing up with that reactive armor and being very difficult to kill. It's definitely an interesting matchup. I don't think too many people are going to die, especially with a Dragon Knight there. If anyone, it would be the Lion. There's also an Axe that can rotate at any time, so they do have to be worried about him. Lion finds a haste rune at the bottom rune spot. So the Tinker won't be getting a rune this time around. And I don't know how much the Lion is going to be able to do with this either.
So how does Dragon Knight... Does Dragon Knight work well as a carry in this first position?
I
mean,
wouldn't mind playing him there, to be quite honest. I think he's fine. Yeah, I wouldn't mind a Dragon Knight in the first position. Also, they have a Clinks in the offlane who is already at level 3 and doing a lot of harass damage to the Gyrocopter. Like, this is something that the Dazzle needs to really help out with, and this Clinks is at level 3 already, and he's basically being given free reign here. So it's not just a Dragon Knight that's going to be carrying. It's also a Clinks that's going to have quite a bit of farm as well.
So off-lane carry, okay.
Hey, that's what I do in all my matches because the other people suck.
And this is people learning how to play Dota, so...
Sometimes, I mean, there are people who will play in the offlane, and they play there because they want to just get a lot of farm, and they know they can do it there, and they don't have to be in the safe lane to do that. They're also a little crazy. Don't talk to the offlaners.
So this mid lane here, Tinker versus Zeus. How is this matchup going to work out for the two of them?
I think whoever gets the rotations is going to win, to be quite honest.
Oh, looks like he's doing a lot of damage. Lasers, missiles. That's going to push Fires out of that lane. He only has one tango left.
Yeah, he used one of his tangos. The runes are going to spawn here, and actually the Lion's going to make his rotation. He could turn Fires into a fish, and Fires is going to be knocked off of that lane. And Lion, he gets the fish onto Fires. He's going to need 2 more hits, and he's not going to be able to get it. Zeus getting down to 20 health, but it doesn't really matter if you're not able to finish off the kill.
I feel like he could just chase after him. There's no one else nearby on the Radiant side, but I guess they don't have the vision to make sure. But this Dragon Knight might be in some trouble right now in bottom lane.
Yeah, he gets his Lion taken away from him, and the Faceless Void, he's not fast enough to be able to get up to him, and, well, the Timbersaw doesn't really care at all. He's just going to go right underneath the tower. The Zeus forced back to base after that engagement. He possibly could have gone for the Zeus, but the Lion ended up getting killed anyway. So maybe it would have been beneficial to go for that. Quink's still doing well in this offlane, has 2 of his Fairy Fires available, and he has locked the Circlet and the Ring of Protection. Wow. That's a new feature in Dota 2, by the way. You can lock items so that they don't get combined into other items.
So why would he lock the ring of protection then?
He built into a soul ring, so maybe he's either playing with it, but he really doesn't want didn't want the Sage's Mask to combine into his items if he had decided to get it from the side shop.
Okay.
So if he didn't lock that, the Ring of Basilius would have been completed instead of the Soul Ring, which is what he wanted. And with him getting a fast level 6, like, he really did not want to have a Ring of Basilius.
All right, so I have a question. How are Hidden Crit actually get the farm for their 3 people at least between the Timber Saw and the Void? Because the Void needs to get that level 6 in order to come online with the Chronosphere. And Timber Saw just does a lot of damage if he gets his Chakram up. Is it kind of odd for them to be in the same lane together like this?
Yes, it is. Maybe they really like each other. That's a possibility, right? I mean, they've really needed this Timbersaw in their lineup, and I think what may have ended up happening was they were telling Fyrus, hey, I mean, Fyrus was like, we need this Timbersaw in our lineup against these guys, and they were like, okay.
This Dragon Knight is fast approaching a level 6 right now, but unfortunately he may not make it in time. Very nice Earth Spike from Diaspora, just going to be stopping their approach onto the Dragon Knight, so he is able to get away.
Yeah, they just group up a bit too much there, and Timbersaw has a lot of mobility with the Timber Chain and now at level 2, so it has a pretty substantial range and does some good damage, and it's also on a 4-second cooldown still. The problem for this Timbersaw is he doesn't have enough mana for it, so he definitely needs to get that. He's got to get on that. It is actually really weird for the Timbersaw and the Faceless Void to be in the same lane, because right now they're just taking experience away from each other.
So it looks like this might be going a little bit better for 5 inches right now. Tinker already hitting level 7 in mid lane right now. I don't even know where Fyrus is.
Fyrus is back in the base. He's getting some drinks with the wenches.
He's a little bit behind. Let me take a look at some of the stats. Yeah, looks if the last hits, just the Axe, the Tinker, and the Dragon Knight all at the top of the chart for last hits right now.
Dragon Form is going to get popped on the bottom lane. He's got the time dilation on him, and the Timbersaw is trying to get away through the trees. He's going to try to TP out, and the Axe not going to be in time, and neither is the Earth Spike. Call is going to miss, and this Faceless Void, he's blinked in the trees as well. He doesn't have a TP here, and they're not even going to know where he is. So this first Dragon Form, maybe they can get a tower with it. They're going to have to push out the lane pretty fast, but they popped the Dragon Form. They're not even able to get that ranged form of the stun off.
That sucks, honestly, but he's now a dragon. He can do whatever he wants in this lane.
Should have gone for the double dragon. Should have done it. They've got a race onto the Haste Rune, and Tinker is going to get it. He's also going to get a lot of damage from the Zeus. There's going to be one... Oh, Tinker very low. He's now going to bottle up, so he's going to be fine. And Zeus used the entire combo to try to kill the Tinker. And now here comes Axe. Axe puts the Battle Hunger onto the Zeus. Zeus trying to get out. And Tinker with a rocket and a laser. That's going to be a kill onto the Zeus.
That's a very important kill, though.
Yeah, very important
Fyrus on mid lane.
Means that the Zeus is not having as good of a start as the Meepo did in the last game. And also, the Tinker gets a little bit closer to his boost of travel. Now at 1,700 and almost a half gold, which is pretty close. And once this Tinker gets the boost of travel up, his impact is going to be increased greatly in this match.
Yeah, this is looking a little bit scary for Hidden Crit right now, because I'm looking at the net worth charts right now, and 4 of 5 inches are above most of Hidden Crit right now. I guess the Gyrocopter is doing fine in his own lane, but everyone else is kind of suffering right now. I mean, especially this Void Timbersaw combo down here. They're just not getting much done together here.
They're becoming the best of friends, though. They can do that.
Best of friends share EXP and gold.
Of course. The bottom tower for the Dire has gotten down to half health, and so has basically the Radiant here. This Dragon Knight with the Dragon Form, he did a little bit of damage to the tower, and he has it up once again, so he could probably take out the rest of that if he were to get in position for it. And the Tinker is very close, needs one more last hit, and he'll get the laser for the Boots of Travel. So he's just going to go straight for the Boots of Travel here.
Oh boy. Push Tinker, here it comes.
Yeah.
How's the Clinks doing right now?
Well, Clinks is currently sitting on Power Treads and Soul Ring. He's trying to do as much as he can to try to push out this top lane, but this tower is getting very low. And actually, here we go, a big Zeus ultimate onto a Lion. Faceless Void not yet to the Chronosphere. Dragon Knight uses the Dragon Form to try to get gets the stun onto the Zeus. Timbersaw going to find the axe inside the jungle, and now the Rocket will finish off the Zeus here. Now the Dragon Knight trying to back away. There's going to be a Chakram in by the Timbersaw, but the Dire just have to move out here as they're not. Well, Timbersaw's gotten to the level 6, but the Faceless Void doesn't quite have the Chronosphere.
So they were able to find some kills out of the, at least. But they still lost Virus, who his net worth is slowly dwindling down. It's even below like support X right now.
Yeah, the Zeus needs to get a couple of kills, and he hasn't had the big start that he usually gets. So we may see 5 inches collectively start to do a little bit better in this match than they did in the last one, which was mostly a 4v5. But maybe the carry in the mid lane for Dihi is pretty good, as he's put the hurt onto the Zeus. Who's really not really knowing what he's up against in this one.
I'm just wondering why they haven't gone upon this Clinks yet, because this Clinks is just having a grand old time in this top lane here. I don't think he's even been like initiated on before, and he's been doing such a nice job of keeping out the Gyro and the Dazzle here.
Axe gets pissed off and picked off in the jungle by a couple of Furious. Smoke is going to get broken by the Dazzle onto the Lion. Lion has a stun available there. There's going to be a Poison Touch on the back of the Lion, making him get away from this one. And now Clinks could be in trouble. He's going to use the Death Pact here to go, and the Clinks is going to juke the Sentry Ward. But now where is this? Zeus? Nope. Dragon Knight was thinking about rotating, but he's not going to fully do it. Clinks is saying, hey, I got a Gyrocopter here, and I can go onto him. He still has that claw down. And Clinks is just trying to find something he can do.
Well, the haste rune is up though. Yeah, he's moving up to the top lane.
Haste rune on the Dragon Knight. He has that Dragon Form and stun available. He's going to go right for the Dazzle. He's going to get the stun onto the Dazzle, and now the damage is going to come out from the Clinks. Call down is here as the Rocket Barrage doing a ton of damage to the Clinks. Clinks, he doesn't really